paddy works on the railway. In 1842 from Hartlepool I moved to Crewe, found myself a job to do, working on the railway.
Hiya, welcome back to my workshop. Yesterday, as in 31st of January, I did a live demo at Yandles, which is a tool and timber shop, which woodworking, but a lot of wood turning stuff as well. And it didn't go well. The reason it didn't go well is the floor was moving. I was doing a fairly big piece. I'll show you the piece of timber. I was doing a fairly big piece, this piece of Mallee Burr, and I knew it was going to be difficult. I was turning on a record power Envoy lathe, and that wasn't a problem. The problem was that the floor started to vibrate, and the lathe started to dance at 220 RPM. So I basically had to do everything I could do at way below sensible speed. Not the fault of the lathe was fine. The lathe was a little bit underpowered for this weight of timber, but if I'd managed to get a bit more speed, that wouldn't have played any part. The message from that is, if you can, get a concrete floor, not checker plate. Anyway, that aside, this was always going to be a two-part demonstration because there's no dust extraction there, and obviously the whole point of this, I want to make it shiny. What I did do is I basically shaped the back, put a tenon on it, and I said I can't finish this here. So what I'm going to do is leave myself a tenon inside. But I wanted to cut the outside of the bowl to show the concept of what I was aiming at, which was this natural edge transition between these parts of the burr that I wanted to keep and the polished part, which, well, you'll see at the end, it looks spectacular. So I wanted that transition. So effectively, I'll turn this upside down to where the sensible way to turn it would have been, because it is a natural bowl shape the other way. But the concept is I'm going to bring this edge up a little bit further. I left myself some space because I wasn't getting the cut I wanted, so I left some decent cuts there so I can get the right shape. So there's a smooth surface to put on your polished table. There's all of this very interesting spiky burr stuff, which I have coloured. I think that colour will go with this colour well. So that's why I've done that. But it's yet to be finished. So as opposed to just sanding and polishing on this video, I'm going to be cutting as well. Although in truth I probably always was going to do a finished cut. But it's on my lathe. My lathe is a Zabrano ZX600. It's stood on 6 inches of solid concrete. And if I press the start button, absolute stability, and I'm at 530 revs at the moment, which is quite a comfortable speed to be turning this at. And there is no movement at all from the floor, which is good. Anyway, enough yammering on. Those that were there to watch me on Friday, thank you very much for coming down. Hopefully they'll let me come back. If they do, I'll be turning something small. Accept defeat on that floor. But if they hope to see you there again. And let's get on with it. Oh, the other thing is I had to stop halfway through to sharpen my gouges. I took 6 gouges with me. It wasn't enough. So you'll be seeing some numbers pop up on screen, because I'm going to keep a count of how many more times I sharpen, because it will be quite a few. So the jaws I'm going to reverse it into are these deep gripper piranha jaws from Axminster, and that will go nicely. So, put you on pause while I reverse it. So we're back to the beginning. Oh, what I would have given for a cut like that. So basically, in two cuts really, from where the demo finished, which was a mess. This is now tidy, ready for sanding, and if you imagine this to be a tabletop, a nice polished tabletop, almost spiky bit, so I just lifted away from it, and I've just got that basic gentle curve that will bring this intentional spiky edge up away from the furniture. So I'm going to sand that off camera. I will show you some sanding, but it'll be on the inside. And get some polish on that bit. So I say polished, it's going to be oiled, not polished. Well, I'm not going to show you all the sanding, but I will do a little bit of it. As you can see, I'm masked up. I got my extractor on, and my dust filter will be going on in a minute as well. But the only reason I'm showing this really is because it's a live edge. So down below centre, tip back towards me. And that was it. That was 600 grit. So that's as far as I'm going to be going with the sanding. I have just touched these edges manually. There's a little bit there which I need to just address. I'll come to that in a minute. Just sort of blend it back into the natural edge part. But other than that, it's just sanded flat. A point made by the old mate Mike Walt and a few other turners recently is a lot of people put the dust stuff on, do the sanding, and then immediately take off the dust protection. And obviously the air is still full of dust. So after I've sanded, I wash down with a bit of methylated spirits. Now, as you can see, dust protection is still on. This is the Rutland's back-powered system, by the way. Anyway, give it a wash, and then what I will do is go into the house and make myself a cup of coffee with the filter running out here. So when I come back out, the dust has either been sucked out or had a chance to hit the floor. Okay, a sensible thing to do here is wait until I'm finished and then put the oil on. But you know, I'm impatient. I will be using a brush to do the sides, obviously, because of the uneven surface. Just slap a coat of oil on here. Now, this oil doesn't itself change the colour much, but so I should say it's Hampshire Danish oil. I'm using Danish because I want to build up several coats, and then give it a bit of a buff on the old buffing wheel. And for the purpose of the camera, somewhat like what it will look like when I've finished. So happy with the bottom, let's get the top done. Okay, so we've turned it around. I know I can run at 500 RPM, so I am. And we'll start by removing my tenon. My tool rest is just a tad high. Doesn't really matter at the moment because I'm nowhere near the bottom. But that's where the natural cut finishes. And the trouble with that is, if you fiddle it to get that middle bit, then what you'll do is you'll end up with either a divot on going inwards or a bit sticking outwards. So, good time to adjust. So when I cut across flat, come nice and natural to that middle. The other thing, mentioned it on Friday, because I'm not going out to the very edge, I need some idea, some guidance. You don't need it, but it's handy. A little bit of tape on the tool rest tells me where I want to come out to. Time to sharpen. Time to sharpen. Okay, so we have another design decision to make. Obviously, if this was a standard bowl, I decided what the bowl thickness was, and I'd follow the inside shape to the outside shape, and if it was 10mm here, it'd be 10mm at the bottom. This isn't a standard bowl. It's therefore moderately irrelevant what the thickness is to some extent, but there needs to be a balance between the shape I want to achieve, the weight I want to achieve, because obviously the more I take out of here, the lighter the piece will become. And I want to keep that edge kind of, I'm quite happy with where that is. I could go a bit further, but I'm liking the shapes I've got here, so I don't really want to change that. If I was to bring it out a little bit further and go for a shallower bowl, wider, shallower bowl, I still get an edge, but I like this pattern, I like this shape, so I want to keep that. It's sort of mountainous. If we go to the overhead, you've got this sort of mountain peak going up, and then a crater, volcano-like, which I like. Let's go to a different camera, different view. So this is coming in from the side, about level with it. So what I'm going to do now is to figure out how far I want to go. That tape is now irrelevant because the edge I am happy with. Yeah, I like that better. I don't know if you can hear me with this gear on, but if you can, I'll leave it in the video. I'm going to start at 120 grit, and I'm going to work my way up to 600 grit, and I will film the whole process, but I won't speak, I'll just speed it up, so you haven't got to watch the entire sanding process, because it's not interesting. But normal stage, but just thought I'd give it a go, a bit of a vacuum for the dust has caught on the natural edge. Bit of Hampshire Danish oil. Danish finishing oil, sorry. Food and toy safe, so you can eat this bowl when I've finished. A little brush. A little brush because I need to get into it between all those little bits and pieces in a minute. 2-inch brush will be better in here. It's going to have more than one coat. That's about as far as it's going to go today. I'm going to leave it on the lathe because I am going to put some more oil on that, and it's easier on the lathe. So that's it for tonight. Tomorrow I will film taking the tenon off, and it'll be a bit shinier by then because there'll be more oil on it. Okay, we've got a few coats of oil on there. Time to take the foot off. Well, that's it done. Rather pleased with it. It's a Mallee Burr that well, you can't really see the maker's mark on the back, but it's there. Lasered on. It's going back down to Yandles next weekend. I'm going down there for the Harvey launch. They're selling Harvey products now, and they've got a launch on Saturday, so I'm going to go down for that and take this with me. And it will be going into the shop at Yandles. So long as it doesn't sell before you get there, if you wander into the shop, you can go and see it for real, touch it and whatever. Thank you ever so much for watching. This was part 2. Part 1 was a live demo. This should have just been sanding and polishing really, but because of problems with the stability of the lathe, i.e. the floor, and the weight of this, I had to do some cutting as well. So it's all in the video, part 2 of the demo. And hopefully all the people that came to see me will watch this and get their value for money. Big thank you to Yandles. Yandles, every month, last Friday of the month, they put on a wood turning demonstration. Free to attend, but first come, first seated. There's a limited number of seats, although there's quite a few. Next month, last Friday of February, which I believe is the 28th, will be Colwyn Way. And then after that, there is somebody in end of March. I can't remember exactly who. I've got an idea, but I'm not going to say in case I'm wrong. But last Friday of every month, between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m, there's a live demonstration provided by Yandles, which is great of them. And of course, it's to lure you into the shop where you will find surprises. Like I found this. There's a whole box of them there at the moment. Lignum vitae and old bowling balls. This one is going to be my personal mallet. I'm going to make this into a mallet for myself because I want to. I've become very fond of this steamed pear for my handles. It feels nice. It's a good weight. It's stronger than ash. Doesn't have the same elasticity, so I wouldn't make a pickaxe handle out of it. But for a mallet handle, it'll be grand. And it just feels lovely. That I also got from Yandles. Yeah, I got to promote the shop. They put my demo on, so you know. And they're lovely people anyway. Right, so my bowl will be in the shop. I kind of want it to sell, but I also kind of want it to sit there for a while so people can see it. It's kind of torn, really. But if you're down there, get in the shop, go and have a look for it. If it's there, great. If not, that's great too. And I will see you soon. Hopefully you've hit subscribe, because then you'll be able to see the mallet when I make it. It's not going to be a week or so because I also do actual real wood turning work. So I've got to do some of that. I've got an order in which needs to be completed. And I've actually got my bandsaw stripped down at the moment because I've got a problem with the bearing. So I've got to get that fixed. Then I can get that order done. Then I can get back to playing and making videos. So probably a couple of weeks. I'll see you then. Oh, also, please hit the thumbs up because that makes me feel good. And it helps people to get to see my videos. So much appreciated. Thanks for coming. Cheers for now.